What is going on, you guys? My name is Josh. I'll go by Harry Tornado here on YouTube and over on Instagram. And today I'm going to share with you guys the absolute easiest way to start your very own online reselling business. Now, I know that starting your own online reselling business seems like a pretty daunting task, but I think if you break it down into its most simplest form, it's really not that hard to get the ball rolling. So the first step in starting your own online reselling business is to choose what online selling platform you want to use. I do think once you become a more experienced reseller, then you can get into cross-posting your items on multiple selling platforms, but the reselling process is already pretty complicated, and the last thing you want to do is overcomplicate things in the beginning when you're just trying to get your feet wet. So I think finding an online selling platform that has a large audience of members that are willing to purchase your items, it's easy to use, easy to navigate, easy to figure things out. I think that's key in starting off on the right foot in your reselling business. And I think the best online selling platform for new resellers in 2021 is Mercari, and Mercari just so happens to be the sponsor of today's video. Now, of course, there are pros and cons to pretty much every single selling platform out there, but what I love about Mercari is that, one, it doesn't limit you to what you can sell, like say Poshmark would, and although eBay has a larger audience of customers than Mercari, Mercari is approximately 40,000 times easier to use than eBay. So now that we have our platform picked, now we have to find something to sell. And I think as a new reseller starting out, the very best way to find items to sell is to go through things you already own. Starting with things you already own is a great way to get into the business because it allows you to learn the ins and outs of how things work with pretty minimal risk, and you can declutter your home while making a few bucks at the same time. So as you're going through your house looking for stuff to sell on Mercari, there are three things to look for in choosing these items. Number one is going to be to look for items that are in gently used, good condition. If you try to sell things that are super worn out or broken, it's going to be pretty hard to sell those. Number two is going to be to pick things that are relatively small and lightweight. Mercari is an online selling platform, so when somebody buys something, you have to ship it to them. And I will say that shipping is probably the most difficult aspect of reselling to learn, so you definitely want to avoid selling things like big screen TVs and snowboards and bicycles because that takes a lot of effort to ship, and you could easily lose a ton of money if you don't know what you're doing, and chances are you don't yet. So stick to things that are small and lightweight. Those are going to be really easy to learn how to ship. And finally, number three is going to be to pick items that still have a demand in the current market. You can list good quality used items on Mercari all day long, but if those items don't have any demand in the current market, they're not going to sell regardless of what price you list. So my advice would be to spend a little bit of time researching items on Mercari, see what's selling, see how often they're selling, see what prices they're selling for, and then maybe try to find similar items to those in your home. For example, video games and video game accessories are probably one of the best things to sell on pretty much any online selling platform, Mercari included. So if you have an old Nintendo Wii or an old Xbox controller or something like that laying around in a drawer somewhere, those will be excellent items to get cleaned up, photographed, and listed for sale on Mercari. This is where we keep like our old Nintendo Wii stuff and the stuff we don't really use that much anymore. I definitely don't want to sell Mario Kart, but that would be a great game to sell for sure. I know Wii Party is going to be a good game. Again, you just kind of learn things as you continue to resell. You kind of learn what titles perform better than others. So I'm going to list Wii Party on Mercari. And let's do Mario Party 8 as well. I haven't played this game in forever. Is it even in here? Yeah, it's in there. Making sure. So we got two games that are complete. That's complete with the manual. This is missing the manual, but that'll still sell. So let's go ahead and list these two on Mercari. I think they'll probably sell within 24 to 48 hours, I would say. So I'm at my kitchen table to take pictures of the two games we're going to list on Mercari. I came here because it has a nice wooden background that's not really distracting, and we have a nice bay window back here, so we have a ton of natural light that's going to make these pictures look pretty good. As you grow in your reselling business, you can get like backgrounds and better lights and stuff, but for just starting out, you want something that a background that's not distracting and pretty good light. You don't want to take pictures of stuff like this like in a dark office somewhere like I was in there. So I came in here for a little bit better light. I'm just going to use my cell phone to take some just basic pictures here of the front, the back, and open to show everything that's included. And then I'll also take a picture of the actual disc so people can see that it's not scratched or anything like that. That one's good. And then I'll do the same thing for the Mario Party 8. So photos are done. Let's go list.
Listing on Mercari is incredibly simple. You open the app, hit sell an item, and up will pop this screen. You can see you add photos, you add a title, a description, and enter some very basic details. So let's go ahead and do that. One great thing about Mercari is that once you put in the title, a lot of the details down below are automatically filled in, which is really nice. In fact, the only detail I had to manually add is the condition. Everything else was automatically input by Mercari. Finally, you verified that the shipping method that Mercari defaulted to is accurate for your item. Most of the time, this is going to be accurate unless you're shipping very large items, which I advise you to avoid. Then you choose who you want to pay for the shipping. I chose the buyer in this case. Then Mercari gives you a full breakdown of exactly how much money you're going to make after all fees are accounted for, which is super nice. Once you're comfortable with all of this information, all you do is click list.
Okay, I literally just finished up that last clip and I was really confused because I got a notification on Mercari that my item sold. And I was like, maybe it was an older item because I've had a few items listed on Mercari in the past. But no, the Wii Party that we just listed literally moments ago has already sold for $29. That was literally listed for 3 minutes. Like less than 5 minutes it was listed and sold. 29 bucks plus shipping. You see the funds right there are still in process, whatever that means. I have a balance from things I've sold in the past. But that's how easy it is to list on Mercari. You literally just find things around your house that you don't want anymore that are in good used condition, that still have a market demand and that are small and easy to ship. Like this one, this is the Wii Party we just sold. This is gonna go in one of these, hang on, I'll show you. So it's gonna ship in something like this. This is a 7x9 bubble mailer. I order these online because I use a lot of them, but if you are in this situation where you listed something on Mercari and it sold immediately, you can run to pretty much any retail store, even like a dollar store, and they'll probably have something like this available for super cheap. You literally just throw it in there and it is ready to go. I definitely didn't think I'd make it this far in today's video, but I'll go ahead and show you how to print off the shipping label once you sell an item on Mercari. When you sign up for Mercari, you have to put in your email address, like signing up for anything these days, but that's how Mercari sends you the shipping label. Once you sell something, they email you and you just click on the screen, it says print shipping label, big orange button. I would show it to you, but it's got the buyer's information. You just click that and it opens up in a new screen like you would print something. And then I do have a thermal printer over here, but I'm just going to use my regular inkjet printer like you would probably have if you start your own reselling business. And then you just click print. And then it should print out the sweet sound of a working printer. Look at there. And there you have it, cover up the personal information. It looks like that. You can cut this out with some scissors and tape it to the bubble mailer. Again, if you get into reselling more seriously, you could get a thermal printer, which prints out 4x6 labels like this. And then you can just peel them off and stick them, so you don't have to deal with cutting and taping. But again, that's later on down the road. You can always get into that later. But right now, we're just gonna stick with this method right here. Once you have the label printed, you can take it to the post office and drop it off, or you can stick it in your mailbox, put your flag up, and your mail person will probably pick it up. If you get into reselling more seriously, where you have multiple things going out every single day, you can schedule a pickup on the USPS website. That way the mail people will know to stop at your house. But if you just have one thing, like something small like this, you can just throw this in your mailbox, stick your flag up, and they will handle it for you. So we got our first sale on Mercari. That was super fast. It was really fun. I was hoping that we would get a sale quickly, but I had no idea it would happen that quickly for sure. I'm having such a hard time focusing on this video because everything is happening so fast, but I love how this process turned out today. It took me, 2 minutes to go through my house, find something that I didn't need anymore, but something that was in good used condition, something that was lightweight, easy to ship, something that still had a demand in the market, clearly. Took us 30 seconds to take pictures, 60 seconds to list, and it sold in less than 5 minutes on Mercari for full asking price. And then another 2 minutes to get it packed up and get the shipping label printed. Now we're ready to stick it in the mailbox, and we've just made our first sale on Mercari. It doesn't get any easier than that, folks. Again, every single selling platform out there is going to have pros and cons that come along with it. But when it comes to being a new reseller looking for a platform that has a large audience of buyers, something that's easy to use and easy to navigate, both from a buyer and seller standpoint, it doesn't get any better than Mercari. So we picked our platform, listed some items, sold an item, and now I want to give you guys 2 more tips that come along with starting your reselling business, something that you really need to do early on to ensure success in moving forward. And the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is having shipping supplies on hand. I think when you start to sell things, it can get kind of exciting and maybe addicting to a certain point. If you're selling things constantly, like it's fun, like listing stuff and selling it in less than 5 minutes, turning basically junk sitting in your living room cabinet into $29 minus some selling fees. But as you grow and get faster, the last thing you want is to get into a situation where you're selling stuff and you don't have shipping supplies to actually ship your items out. If you stick to listing small, lightweight items, it's pretty easy to find shipping supplies with video games, DVDs, things like that. They work great in these padded envelopes. Again, you can order them online if you're listing a lot of them, or you can just go to Dollar Tree and get like 3 packs or so. If you want to list bigger items, like this is a camera lens, obviously I wouldn't put this in a padded envelope. You definitely want to put that in a box. You can find smaller boxes usually for free on your neighbor's like recycling day. Just ride around your neighborhood, look for free boxes. You can post in a neighborhood Facebook group telling people that you want boxes. You could reuse your Amazon boxes. I'm sure that 99% of you guys are ordering stuff on Amazon all the time. So anytime you get a new thing in the mail, just save that box and use it for the next item that you ship out that you sold on Mercari. If you continue to grow your reselling business to where you're shipping out multiple things every single day, then you'll probably have to order some shipping supplies online just to keep stuff on hand. But I think most people that want to get into this as a little side hustle or part-time job can probably get by with just reusing Amazon shipping supplies that they get from themselves or their neighbors, or at the very least just run into the Dollar Tree and getting some of these padded envelopes or other basic items like that. And the last tip I'm going to give you guys when it comes to starting your own reselling business is to go ahead and open a separate checking account for your business. I know it can seem kind of silly at first if you've only sold a few things, but there are a lot of people out there that thought their reselling business would never grow into something significant, and then they get a year into it and they sold $50,000 worth of items, and then when it comes to tax time, it's really difficult to sift through their personal checking account and try to figure out what was business related and what wasn't, and it's just a huge headache. So going ahead and starting early with opening a free separate checking account for your business just makes it much easier to figure out your actual profit and taxes when it comes that time. So that's going to do it for me today, guys. Again, thanks to Mercari for being the sponsor of today's video. If you guys enjoyed it at all, take a couple seconds and hit that like button down below. It's totally free and it really helps me out a ton. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below as well. Thank you guys again so much for watching. You're the best, and I'll catch you on the next one. Oh.